you're thinking of picking up uh, Ashley Vance's Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX, and the quest for a fantastic future.
Yeah.
But maybe not sure if it's really worth it or not.
Definitely a popular one.
Yeah, is it worth the read? Right.
Right.
That's kind of what we're here to figure out today.
Yeah, and over the next few minutes, we'll unpack Vance's book, try to give you a better sense of whether it deserves a spot on your bookshelf.
Okay, so let's just get right to it.
Yeah.
Is it worth the hype?
I think it absolutely is.
Okay.
Vance does a really good job with this biography. He goes beyond just like listing all of Musk's accomplishments.
Okay.
It's not just like here's all the things that he did.
Right.
It really gives you a glimpse into his mind.
Okay, so like the man behind the headlines.
Right, the man behind the headlines. You see the ambition.
Okay.
You see the drive, but you also see the flaws.
Okay, so that's what I'm kind of curious about.
Yeah.
Is how honest is the book about those flaws?
Yeah.
Because a lot of these books about,
right,
entrepreneurs and super successful people, it can feel like
total PR.
Yeah, like a puff piece. You know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah. And I had that concern going in, but Vance doesn't shy away from those more challenging parts of Musk's personality. Okay. So he's got a very demanding work style. Yeah. And that obviously has an impact on his relationships.
Sure.
There's this one anecdote that really stood out to me.
Okay.
Where a group of employees go to Musk and they ask him for some time off. And Musk replies,
"Oh, boy.
Your families will see you plenty when we go bankrupt."
Oh, wow.
So you can see him right away.
That's intense.
Very intense, that pressure cooker environment.
Yeah, it kind of paints the picture of like a very driven, maybe even ruthless.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. Okay, so what about the writing? Is this something that, someone like me who's not a rocket scientist can actually enjoy and get through?
Yeah, so Vance is a really talented storyteller.
Okay.
And he does a great job of explaining these really complex concepts in a way that's clear and engaging. Okay. He uses vivid language. He's got these really relatable anecdotes. He doesn't get bogged down in a lot of the technical jargon.
Okay, so
it's a very smooth read, even if you're not, super deep into the world of tech or space exploration.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
So I've read other biographies of these kind of tech giants, like the one on Steve Jobs by Walter Isaacson.
Yeah.
Does this offer something different?
I think it does.
Okay.
So, Isaacson's book on Jobs focuses a lot on like his impact on the industry. Okay. Vance's book really goes deeper into Musk's psychological motivations.
So you're getting into like the psychology of Elon Musk?
It's the psychology behind the man. It's looking at his childhood traumas, his drive to prove himself, and how that shaped his worldview.
So it's more than just like a chronological retelling of all of his businesses.
It's just a time
successes.
Exactly.
Okay, so you're saying we're really getting into like
the why.
Yes, the why.
Behind the man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Vance connects those dots between his past and his present.
Okay.
Suggesting that a lot of his difficult upbringing fueled his ambition and this kind of insatiable need to achieve these things that seem impossible.
Okay, so that's a layer of depth you're saying we don't often see in these books.
Right, it's not just a surface level examination.
Okay, so a lot of us are kind of interested in Musk because of Tesla and SpaceX.
For sure.
But his vision seems to go way beyond that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like colonizing Mars, things like that.
Yeah, colonizing Mars. Like,
how does the book
address those grand plans?
It's a key theme in the book.
Okay.
And Vance really dives deep into that obsession with Mars.
Oh.
And for Musk, it's more than just this vanity project. He actually sees it as like an insurance policy for humanity, a way to ensure that we'll survive even if Earth becomes uninhabitable. Okay. So, it's a bold idea. Yeah. It's definitely controversial. Sure. And Vance doesn't shy away from exploring both the potential benefits and the ethical challenges that come with that.
I see. Okay.
So, yeah, it's a fascinating concept. And it really plays into that kind of almost messianic view that he seems to have about his role in the world.
Right. It's like, is he a visionary leading us into this great future? Right. Or is he just recklessly gambling?
Yeah. Is he a
long shot?
Genius or a madman kind of?
Exactly, yeah. Okay. Okay, so speaking of risks, the one thing that always comes up with Musk is his management style.
For sure.
Like he's known for being incredibly demanding, even ruthless.
Absolutely.
Does the book gloss over that at all?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Vance includes a lot of accounts from former employees that describe that, super intense work ethic and just the pressure cooker environment that he creates at his companies.
So we're getting the full picture.
Yeah, the full picture.
The brilliance and the burnout.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Right.
I mean, you can't have an honest portrayal without acknowledging that there is a human cost to these ambitions, and he doesn't shy away from that at all.
You mentioned earlier his rivalry with Jeff Bezos.
Yes.
How does the book handle that?
It's a fascinating subplot in the book because it really reveals this pretty deep tension, I think, between these two titans.
Right. I mean, from what I've read, it seems like it's getting pretty heated.
Oh, for sure. And I think a big part of that is that Musk sees Bezos as someone who's more focused on the short term, like the market dominance, the profits.
Okay.
Whereas Musk really sees himself as tackling these much bigger, almost existential threats.
So it's not just a clash of egos. It's really like...
It's a fundamental...
philosophical difference.
Difference in how they approach innovation.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting to me.
Yeah.
Is there anything in the book that kind of gets at the why? Like, what drives this guy?
That's one of the things that Vance does really well in this book, is that he really tries to, dive into Musk's psychology. Okay. And so he traces his fascination with technology back to his childhood, his early interest in computers, science fiction. Right. And it really suggests that this desire that he has to solve problems and this almost unshakable belief in technology that's so core to who he is. It's
like he almost has this need to save the world, even if it's from problems that he's identified.
Right. Exactly.
AI going rogue or
climate change.
Yeah, things like that.
Totally. And he's this fascinating mix of ambition, idealism, maybe a little bit of paranoia. Sure. All fueled by this extraordinary intellect. Yeah. And I think the picture that Vance paints is of someone who's constantly thinking ahead.
Okay.
Like way ahead.
Yeah.
Envisioning these possibilities that most of us can't even grasp.
Right. Yeah.
It's pretty remarkable.
Okay. So, one question I keep kind of coming back to is this book just glorifying Musk? Or does it present like a balanced perspective?
Right. That's a fair question.
Because I'm always a little bit wary of these biographies that feel a little too one-sided.
Yeah, and I get that it would be easy to just fall into hero worship when you're writing about someone like Musk. But Vance doesn't do that. He doesn't shy away from showing that, Musk has flaws, he can be abrasive, and he really explores that toll that his drive takes on the people around him.
So we're seeing the good and the bad.
We're seeing it all.
Yeah.
It's a very, very multifaceted portrait.
Okay, so you're saying this isn't just a hagiography?
No, not at all. It's much more nuanced than that.
Okay, so what about his personal life? Does it get into that at all, or is it just all business, all rockets?
It strikes a good balance, I think, between the personal and the professional. So it does give you these glimpses into his relationships with his wives, his children, and it really highlights how difficult it is to maintain a family life when you're juggling such demanding responsibilities.
Especially at that level.
Yeah, and there are these moments of tenderness, vulnerability that humanize him, that remind us that he's not just this CEO or this icon.
He's a human being. Going through stuff.
Yeah, with his own struggles.
Okay, that's reassuring.
Yeah.
It's easy to forget sometimes that these larger-than-life figures have,
have
lives and relationships and families. And
absolutely, yeah.
They're
not immune to those challenges.
Exactly. So it sounds like Vance really captures
he really tried to
capture the full scope.
Yeah.
And he does it in a way that's very informative and entertaining.
Okay.
Because it's a real page turner. You get sucked into the story. You're just marveling at his audacity and his ambition, but then you're also kind of, questioning his methods and his motivation. So it's a very thought-provoking book.
You mentioned earlier, too, that the book kind of explores some of the ethical implications of his ideas. Can you give an example of how Vance does that? So one that really stands out is the discussion of artificial intelligence. Oh. Musk has been pretty vocal about his concerns with AI. He believes that it has the potential to surpass human intelligence, and that could pose a real threat to humanity. So Vance really explores those potential dangers of unchecked AI development, and he raises these really important questions about the ethics of creating technology that could potentially outsmart us.
That's a pretty weighty topic.
It is.
But it sounds like, it's good that he's not just taking Musk at his word.
No, not at all.
He's also encouraging.
Yeah, he's presenting those counter-arguments. He's giving voice to those critics who are concerned about, these ambitious plans. So
okay, that's good.
Yeah, it's not just a celebration of Musk.
Right.
It's really an invitation to have a much deeper conversation.
Okay, so one thing that really strikes me about Musk is his focus on the long-term goals.
The long game.
Yeah, he's thinking decades, centuries ahead.
Absolutely.
When most of us are struggling to,
it's,
plan our week.
It's amazing.
It's crazy.
Yeah, he operates on a completely different timeline.
It really is, yeah.
He's not worried about, what's happening next quarter.
Right, he's not.
He's looking at the really, really big picture.
Yeah, it's like he's playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers.
A great analogy.
It makes you kind of wonder what the world's going to look like if even a fraction of this vision comes true.
It's a really fascinating thought experiment.
It really is.
And that's one of the things that I think makes this book so compelling.
Okay.
Is that it really forces you to confront your own assumptions about what's possible and to think about the potential consequences of these grand ambitions. It reminds us that, the future's not set in stone. Right. It's being shaped right now by people like Musk.
Yeah. So this has been a really insightful deep dive.
It's been fun.
I think it's clear that this book offers more than just a glimpse into like an entrepreneur. It's really a window into the mind of someone who's trying to shape the future.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
It really makes you think.
So I'm sold. Yeah. It's going to my reading list.
Awesome.
Now let's move to the final part of our deep dive and talk about who this book is really for.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about Musk, his personality, his vision for the future. Yeah. But who should actually read this book?
Right.
Is this just for the techies out there?
Yeah, good question.
Or is there something here for everyone?
I think if you're fascinated by, things like innovation and entrepreneurship, and especially the future of technology, this book's going to be really captivating.
Okay.
Because it gives you that glimpse into the mind of someone who's really pushing the limits of what's possible.
Now, let's be real.
Yeah.
Musk is a polarizing guy.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Some people are inspired by him. Other people think he's arrogant.
Yeah.
Out of touch. So does this book kind of cater to one perspective or the other?
I think Vance does a good job of presenting that balanced perspective. Okay. He includes the criticisms, from people who've worked with him, people who've clashed with him. Okay. You get the full picture, warts and all.
Yeah, I'm always kind of wary of those like biographies that feel like they're...
Yeah, the hero worship.
Yeah, exactly. So... What about the people who aren't really into the the nitty-gritty details of electric cars and space travel? Right. Is there something here for them?
I think so.
Okay.
Because beyond those specifics, it really offers insights into, ambition, the challenges of leadership, the ethical dilemmas that come with all this new technology.
So there's a human element to it.
It's a very human story.
Okay. Yeah. That kind of goes beyond.
Yeah, it resonates with those anxieties we all have about the future.
You mentioned earlier those comparisons to other like tech giants, Steve Jobs, Bezos.
Yeah.
How do those comparisons help us understand Musk better?
I think when you look at Musk in the context of these other visionary leaders, it helps you see, the similarities and the differences. Okay. They all share this incredible drive, this willingness to take huge risks. Right. They all believe that they can change the world. Right. But what sets Musk apart is this focus on these huge long-term challenges like climate change, the future of humanity as a whole. Okay, so at the end of the day, after this whole deep dive, would you say this book is worth the time? I think it is. I think if you are looking for, a really insightful look at one of the most influential